So hi everybody, thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well and also excited to finish your period of home quarantine and to a real life, even though not not quite familiar yet, but hopefully soon. And then after some time, it even will become a routine, but not yet. And before this exciting moment, we just wanted to see you one more time again here online. And yeah, maybe before we continue, I'll just ask my colleagues if you want to say something in the beginning before we'll just start with the things that we planned. Maybe I'll say what we planned, and then before we start what we planned, you will see if you want to add something. So we, as promised yesterday, we will just go quickly over the whole program and see what topics we raised and shared with you and discussed with you during online meetings or on some records that you watched. Um, and we will answer for your questions. In fact, in addition to the many warm words that we receive only one question. So we'll of course answer it. But now, as long as you hear us and you think, oh, actually, I want to know about this, about that, so please write it down in chat, and we'll stop and we will answer this question. And yeah, and whenever we have a pause for questions and thoughts, we'll also it also will be an opportunity to open my microphone and yeah, say a few words. So that's the general plan. And now I'll ask my colleague before we'll proceed with this plan, if you want to add something for the beginning of this meeting. Yeah. Anat? Yes, no, maybe so.
I couldn't hear the
No,
question.
go ahead.
Yeah. Don't
In the
worry.
last,
Yeah. Just I'm answering participants. Don't worry. The question this time wasn't to you. The question was to my colleagues if they want to add something for the beginning. So we're not asking you yet something.
okay, maybe at the end. So go ahead, give us a review of what was in the
Okay.
program, and then we shall see.
Okay. Good. No problem. Okay, so I'm sharing a short presentation that we made for you. It's this presentation is basically, as I mentioned, is a review of the whole program, and we will just go through some highlights or things that we decided to highlight for this meeting. But of course, there were much more details, much more information. And again, you're more than welcome to go back and to watch it again today, tomorrow, any other day. These links you can use these links whenever you feel that you need to use them and to watch this specific topic or another or everything again. So yeah, let's do it. I'm just allowing few participants also to join the meeting, and then we'll continue. Okay. Okay, everybody's in. So we started with the topic of Israeli background. In addition, our welcoming meeting, we started with the topic through records with the Israeli background. We talked with you about culture and different ethnic groups, and we even took you to the virtual tour all over Israel. But those are highlights, as we said, that we wanted to just remind you, a few reminders related to Israeli culture that also may, use your tips. That in Israel, the common way to communicate is by direct communication. People will refer to you by your first name. It's difficult to not notice that you address everybody with ma'am and sir and all other polite words before the actual name. And Israel people very direct, and they will use your first name, and that's basically it. That's the usual way of communication. And also, they even will use the shorter or nickname version of your first name. So know that people might approach you directly with comments and requests. and it's a normal behavior. Yeah, it's an absolute norm in Israel. And generally speaking, it's not only direct way of communication. Israelis are very direct. They say what they mean, and if you feel uncomfortable to say directly no, or are you answering with your politeness, but not directly, it will be really difficult for Israeli to understand what you're talking about. So also try to be as much as possible, to be direct as much as possible. You should also know that Israel-friendly touches between friends are accepted, and as we know, it's not that accepted in many other countries and many other cultures. So if you feel uncomfortable with something, you just should let know, because yeah, again, it's also your boundaries, of course, and the way you should feel, and you should feel comfortable. But just for you also not to be concerned or suspicious of something, you can also notice that it happens not only in a place that you'll be, just again, general Israeli culture. And Israelis use body language a lot. When they speak, they use their hands, they use their body. So again, it could be different from other cultures. The culture in Philippines, although the countries that you used to work, but in Israel is like this. And then another highlight from the virtual tour that we ended with that is related to a card of Rav-Kav. Yeah, this card is each of you should have it, and it's very easy to procure. It costs, I think, 5 shekel, the new one. It's you in order to use public transportation, you have to have it. You can purchase this card in a central station, bus station, train station, but also there are other small places. So basically, you can ask a family of where you will stay, where the closest place that you can obtain such a card, and then just go there and just purchase. As I said, it's 5 shekel only. And then you can use also, again, you should charge it with money. How many travels are you planning?
Punta pa ako sa bahay ng mga yan.
Just a second. I also
Pag may may mga...
microphone. Okay. Please note that you're not turning your microphone by accident. So it's important that you know that you can have a personal card or anonymous card. And the advantage of personal card that if at some point your card is being lost, then you just go again to some central station or some central place, and they will restore you. They will provide you the new one. You will just pay additional 5 shekel, but the rest of the money that was on your card will be still there. They will just block your old one. And with anonymous card, yeah, nobody can prove that it was yours. So if you get lost, it will get lost. So our recommendation is for you to have your personal card. Maybe it's a bit more complicated to do it right from the beginning, but with after a short time, it's better to do it. We also talked about the very sensitive topics. Sarah raised it, gender issues. Sarah, you want to comment? You want me to comment? You're on mute, sorry.
I said, go ahead. And if I think I have anything else to add, I will.
Okay, so something being weird. Okay, but that's not. When those of you who are treating men, and sometimes you're being close to patient spouse, what can happen? Sexual harassment can happen. So we want you to be aware of that, and we shared with you in the group a few tips on how you can deal with sexual harassment. You can also go back and watch it. This link is also always available. And we just wanted to remind you to bring this topic up again at the meeting. We talked related to the visas and something that you asked us several times during the program. In general, the visa for foreign caregiver will be not extended for additional periods after 51 months. There are some nuances, and nuances are if you took care of the same person at least 12 months. Yes, so for example, if you started and you keep working with the same employer, or you switched it more than 12 months before 51 months, you know, after 31 months, after 36 months, but there are still 1 year. You took care of this person more than 1 year, then your visa can be extended for another year, and then in some cases it can be extended even more. For those who are in different situation, what can happen after 51 months, that you will be registered in a placement agency as a temporary worker, and then you will assist, you will provide care for the employers, for people whose worker, whose caregiver went for vacation for abroad. So you'll be as a temporary worker in between, and then after 63 months, your visa wouldn't be extended anymore, and you will have to return to your country. Sorry, just that's that. Another important question of leaving and changing employer. Foreign workers who wishing to leave or change employers after having made a genuine and sincere attempt, allowed to do that. You need to, of course, provide written note to the placement agency and to the family as well. And yeah, we discussed the situation and we discussed the approach. So the attempt should be honest and sincere, but sometimes things don't work. And the same way that employers sometimes allow to switch, to cancel, you know, the contract from their end, and to say to the worker that they're not interested. The same way, after the sincere attempt, caregiver also allowed to provide a written note to both agency and the family. And during the meeting, the record that we shared with you, we also discussed how much time ahead you need to do it, depending on how much time you work for the same person, for the same employer, to that decision. Another thing, another important reminders related to your employment is related to few, let's put it very technical, but important things. There are special obligatory periods for prior written notice for caregivers. It's just something that just noticed. You can't just leave without, you know, or leave even with the written notice. You need also to give some time to the family, to the agency, to find an alternative solution for this specific person, for his family or her family, etc. There are some geographic limitations of change of employment of caregivers, and we also discussed it with the record that I shared with you. What are limitations for periphery area, what are limitations for center area, and for Tel Aviv. And if you don't remember, they're not that complicated, but then again, I just recommend you just go watch over it again. We discussed there is special supervision of those caregivers who change employers frequently. Yeah, if you change 1, 2, 3, 4 times, your supervisor will get suspicious. So you just also should be aware of that. And please remember that there are also specific requirements for your registration by placement agency. You should remember that not all of the agencies have a special license. So not everybody who suggests you work, and especially if somebody will suggest you work in other sector as I don't know, in a restaurant, house cleaning, something else, and to say that's legal and that's okay, should get suspicious, because you know it's just impossible. And all of you who came under a bilateral agreement to work as caregivers can work only as caregivers and be registered and have to be registered or one of the licensed placement agencies. And the last thing that also very important, that you should follow up and be aware of latest guidance of Ministry of Health related to pandemic for your own sake and for the sake of those who you will take care of, because usually people who need such care are also defined as people at risk, group risk. So please also be aware of that and follow up. And as I said, it's very accessible information in English. Just write COVID-19 Israel. It will already refer you to Ministry of Health and just follow up. Another thing that we want to remind you is the way the call center for foreign migrants works, which also provide you information. And that was the reason that we asked you in the beginning to register, to provide information also as our initiative with all new updates, etc. But also if you need some information, you can also turn to a call center to receive the information you need. And you also may leave a complaint in case something went wrong. There are some, something went wrong either with employer or the family or the agency. So you shouldn't hesitate and contact us. And there was a record of Naama, who is a director of call center from senior side. So yeah, you can just again, those of you who missed or didn't see through all the details, it's actually very important information. And we want you all to use this resource because it's first of all for you. Yeah, so that's more or less it on that. Sarah, I will use a short pause. I want to switch because something goes wrong. I know I edited and I can see it, and now it's a bit bothers me. So just a second, you can start from tools, so it will be difficult for you to go without a slide. Just 1 second, because I don't understand.
I don't understand. You want me to go through the slide?
I want to pause for a second. I wanted to go through a slide, but I think it's the wrong one because I edited and I see that it's not the edited version. So just 1 second, please.
So this is a good time for me to teach you all a song in Hebrew.
Exactly.
And the words are, Hevenu Shalom Alechem. We bring peace unto you. And I'm a terrible singer, so Anat, you're going to have to join me. And it goes like this.
I will assist you.
Shalom Alechem. Hevenu Shalom Alechem. Hevenu Shalom Alechem. Hevenu Shalom Alechem.
No, but
Once
now
again,
you need to teach.
Are you ready, Margarita?
Yes, Evenu. You should say Evenu. Shalom.
Evenu.
No, you have to write. You have to write the words.
Okay, you'll get the words, but you got to get the tune. Now sing it again. Yaakov, you have to join me this time.
Sure.
There are only 3 lyrics.
Shalom Alechem.
Hevenu Shalom Alechem. Hevenu Shalom Alechem.
Hevenu
Shalom Alechem.
Peace.
We bring peace unto you.
Good.
Are you ready, Margarita?
Well, almost.
Almost.
No, but I will open up. It's it's what we have. So I don't understand what happened here, but we'll have.
It's a good enough slide.
We'll go with what we have. As another short Hebrew lesson and my last thought. Have nothing to do. That's what we have.
Tools for effective communication. We talked about that, and I'll talk about it again a little bit. Active listening. This is my favorite line. To be an active listener is a very important tool to take anywhere and everywhere. To listen what people mean, not just what the words say, is an important skill to develop. That means you listen with your heart, with your eyes, and everything else. And it's also good to repeat what they say in their words. And of course, the part of that is reflection. In order to make sure you understood what your patient meant, try to reflect what you understood, what he said by saying, I understand, I see that, and ask questions. And what did you mean? And so on, to make sure that it is understood. Empathy is a very important part of our toolbox. Try to be empathetic to your patient, even if you don't agree with them. And I assume that this will happen quite often because you don't know what has come to pass in his life, especially in the beginning, and how he has come to be this way or say these things and so on and so forth. And even then it's harder. And the I message. The I message means that when you talk about your opinion and your thoughts, you use the word I. And I recommend that that you do that. I want to tell you that going back to the previous slide about being in a perhaps a compromised sexual situation, if someone approaches you in an inappropriate way and you shy away and you don't say in a very bold way what your limitations are, what's appropriate and what is not appropriate, then they will misunderstand that you agree to cooperate. So if you don't want to do that, then you must be bold and say what you mean and mean what you say. This is always good, and in Israel, it's very acceptable. Anything else, Margareta? Okay. The connection between two layers of relationships. Obviously, we all have needs, desires, and abilities, expectations, knowledge, and emotions. And this is on the part of the caregiver as well as on the part of the person who you are caring for. Both the caregiver and the patient has needs of listening, attention, and honesty, and feeling respected. Okay, feeling respected. Both the caregiver and the patient has desires, needs for listening, attention, honesty, and feeling respected. And the same goes for abilities. Both the caregiver and the patient has the ability to listen and to respect each other. And the expectations the same way. Both the caregiver and the patient have the needs to get good treatment and to keep the family involved. And knowledge, both the caregiver and the patient has knowledge what is good care in their eyes. And that's very important to listen to what your patient has to say and to his family. And everyone, of course, has emotions. Both the caregiver and the patient has emotions, can be both positive and negative, like empathy, along with longing and many, many other things. What's in the next slide, Margareta? Communication with the family in distance. Maybe you want to do this.
Yeah, we'll continue. Thank you very much, Sarah. So we also shared with you record on that. And as I said, there are many people who participated. So another social worker also sit with us and work with us on building this lecture for you. And a few useful advice that I was given there, whenever you now building a new step, a new period of your relationship now, and this family with distance, it's important for you to set a specific time, day, hour, and duration, for the contact. And it's very important that it would be high quality communication. So try to not only schedule this specific time, but also to make sure that this time wouldn't be interrupted by somebody on your end or somebody on a family member and with who you're trying to talk in this specific time. Another important advice is to try to avoid all kinds of sorting out the relationship while you texting each other. So the best thing, of course, to do it when you meet personally, but since we're discussing very long distance relationships, so at least to leave those things or misunderstanding to discuss during your quality time contact, during your video contact, because again, today, at least it's much easier to allow for yourself. Even 10 years ago, it just started with Skype, but yeah, before it wasn't existed at all. So today we're all lucky to be able to communicate with our family members in different countries, and for that matter, you are. So try to save again those very sensitive moments to discuss over video contacts, and it will just decrease all possible misunderstandings and difficulties in relationship. Also remember that long distance relationship, yeah, good side of it is allowed to for relationship or for your communication to be much deeper and less shallow, because all the everyday routine now not necessarily should be discussed, so you can talk more about your feelings to make your connection again in relationship deeper. There also were very useful tips for those of you who have kids. So again, those of you who still didn't have opportunity to watch it, we do recommend you to watch it, and yeah, and use it hopefully as well. Just a minute, because I'm allowing again to some participants to join us. Yeah, and that's just the whole overview. So yeah, so I will answer this question, and soon we'll ask you for your additional questions. So those of you who already have may start to type or be ready that we'll ask it with their microphones. So get ready, and we'll just meanwhile answer the question, the only question among many compliments that we received. And the question was, I would like to ask if, for example, you already finished 5 years staying in Israel and your employer still wants you to stay, is it possible to extend your working visa or not? So actually, I a little bit answered it when I went through the preview of the program, and but I will just review it shortly because, as I said, we promised you should ask us and we will answer. So the answer is, if you work for the same employer and you pass 5 years, and to be exact, you work for the employer at least 1 year before 51 months, and then you work additional year up to 63 months, which is the maximum possible time for a caregiver to stay to work under this agreement. So the only reason it would be if it would be still the same person, and the same person will still need assistance. Yeah, and as you can remember, yesterday Yaakov shared his story, and he mentioned a worker who finally was a good fit for his mother-in-law, and she took care of her for 10 years, which means that after 63 months passed, she still got permit to stay and to assist the person until basically she passed away. So yes, that's the general answer. And before we move with the presentation and a few other reminders, we'll stop here for comments, questions, etc.
You have to write them the words for the song. I didn't make this effort for nothing. So we're going to sing it in the end again. Write it on chat so everyone can see it. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I promise. It would be it would be our dessert of this meeting.
The only thing I want to say again is I don't know what the program, if your program has involved anything about the next month, the holiday business. And I think that they should have some more information about that, when the holidays are and what are off days and on days, because it's a continuous month.
Well, so thank you for this comment. We will put the exact days just of this year for you to know in your groups. Usually we try to do it for other groups as well. We did talk about Jewish holidays, not broadly, but we remind many basic ones in, I think, in the first or second regular, but both on the Israeli culture. So you can review it because it will come very soon. As Sarah mentioned, the whole September will be month of Jewish holidays this year. Sometimes it starts in the mid-September and end by mid-October. Sometimes it starts even by end of September, and then it ends by end of October. But this year, it falls like this, that almost all September will be Jewish holidays. And there are specific days, that, have the similar religious and traditional status as Shabbat. They dissolve and everything is closed. So those days we will put, and as I said, you can go back to watch the program or type a name if you're more interested about specific holiday and to read more information. Now it's a lot of information available online, and it's always for us also a doubt how much information to give to you and how much to encourage you to go to search in order to not overload you. But with the specific days for the specific month, we'll share with you a bit towards the September, just for you to be up to date. But thank you for this comment, Sarah. Thank you. Anyone else? I'm just trying to remember. We have actually we just sat here last week the same way with the first group, and all of a sudden everybody popped up with all kinds of questions. So we're expecting from you not necessarily to draw us in like 10 or 100 questions, but 1 or 2 also would be good. Did all of you went through swab test or not yet? You want to read? Who of you had the swab test?
I think all of us.
Finished already.
Most of us are already done with our swab test.
Good. And you also, all of you visited or got a visit from your agency, right? Person from agency. I know somebody already asked me about changing employer, not because you decided to change, but I think in a few cases there was some changes between employers.
But I want to say something, if that's okay. If Yaakov is with us, maybe he wants to add to what I want to say. Making a match between an employee and an employer in such an intimate situation is very difficult. As we have a program on television now. First you get married, then you learn your partner, and sometimes I think that, when you bring a foreign worker into your home, it's sort of like that. First, you're made the commitment to live there, to be there, to, act the part. And then you have to find out who this person is and what it's all about and how you feel and what your job is and what their expectations are and so on and so forth. And it's true on both ends. I'm not surprised that, Yaakov told us about the story that they had in their family, that it took them a while to understand what is correct to expect from a foreign worker, as well as, as what the foreign worker would want from his employee. So it is a two-way street, and it needs to be invested in. So I highly recommend that you, if things don't seem right to you or whatever, try to find an intermediary and try to understand exactly what the issues are. And so, you can try to resolve all conflicts and issues and so on.
But with your permission, if I may add, with all what you hear and what was given to you in lectures and sessions there is also what I call a natural flow. The natural flow means that you come into the family, you behave normally, they will behave also normally, and the relations will start to develop. And the nature of being together will build the bonding and the companionship, and of course, the main thing, the care. So it will go all right. We don't have to think every day, is it okay if I do this or I did that? That's fine. You're coming to a family, it's true, it's different, it's stranger, but within days or maybe even hours, things start to develop, and here you are already a part of the family, and you also feel that you gained a family. So it will be all right.
Yaakov, I want to ask something in Hebrew. אז הם יודעים שחלק גדול מהמשפחות גם מציבות מצלמות? דיברתם על זה?
לא.
אתה חושב שכדאי לדבר על זה או לא? כי זה יכול להיות מלחיץ ומפחיד.
לא, אני לא הייתי מעלה את זה עכשיו.
אוקיי, לכן אני מדברת בעברית.
זה קצת מפחיד, הם גם ככה די בחששות. בואו ניתן להם קצת לזרום, ונדבר איתם בהמשך.
אוקיי.
So if none of you have questions, if you have comments, concerns, things that you would like to share with us? Arlene, Rufa. I'll ask also all the big teams. Marita's team. Where is another team? I can't see them. Wait. I'll find you all. Still, we don't want you to make you feel uncomfortable, but again, we will gladly hear from you if you have something to share. I think maybe if you would like to share something, I will go with a few reminders maybe, and then we'll check again if there's something else you want to share with us. And at the end, Sarah, I didn't forget my promise. We'll have a dessert of a song that you taught kindly the group. Meanwhile, we received a question. How about patient died on the 5th year of our contract? It is possible to extend our visa, or you will send us back to the Philippines. Okay, not me, no Sarah, not Yaakov, who won't send you. There is a Population Immigration Border Authority that I talked to you, that one of the responsibilities is also to make sure they are not overstaying legal visas. Now, related to the 5th year, no, you shouldn't be escorted, let's put it this way, out of country. It will be under the you will still have possible period of 12 months to work as a during your 5th year. It's a 12-month period when you can work as temporary worker. So you have additional time till you end 63 months in total, and then you will need to leave the country. And I will recommend personally that you make your own plans to go back to your family, or if you're interested to continue work abroad, to look for another opportunities for you to do that, and not to leave it to the place that you should be deported. Also, maybe it's important to mention or remind for you, and we talked about it in one of the records, that there is a deposit. The deposit being paid by your employer and agency once a month, and this money being accumulated on a closed bank account, and you can pull this money only when you leave the country. When you leave the country, not just to go family vacation, but whenever you finish your employment period in Israel. So, and if you will overstay your visa, your legal visa, then the money from this account will start to be pulled, and they won't be pulled immediately, the whole sum, but it will happen. So then again, you work really hard to earn your money, so we won't recommend for you to come to this. So yeah, but you need to know about this side as well. Anything else, or we'll go back to a few reminders and then we'll check again.
Hi, Margarita. I do have
Hello.
a question. Hi. My question is, sorry, I can't see you. There you go. So my
No, I'm here.
question would
No worries.
be, yeah. So, in our contract, every year we are given 16 days off. It's either we wanted to go back to the Philippines or go visit other country. My question is, if we decided to go back to the Philippines for the 16 days vacation, our
Yeah.
visa would still be the same. We can still be use it. Like we don't need to go through another applications and stuff like that. We can just go
You
back to the Philippines and then go back to Israel without hindrances.
So there is a procedure that you need to do, but it's not
Yes.
obtaining. You're not starting the whole process from the beginning. Those visa called enter visa, but though the Israeli will pronounce it inter visa. So don't don't think it's a different visa, but it comes from word enter. For you to enter the country back when you return from your vacation, you need to ask your the employer and the agency to assist you with that. And basically, you just coordinate you coordinate your vacation, and then you go to sorry for the noises. Just 1 second.
It's okay.
It's just very strong, so I don't want you all to suffer with your ears. So you need to procure this visa. One of the branches of Population Immigration Authority that provides such visas, and then you return without a problem, and you still have your annual visa valid till the end of this calendar year. Usually, visa being, as you will see in your passport, usually visas being provided till the end of calendar year. So now you will have a visa till the end of 21. And then in January, you will receive a new visa in your passport till 22, etc., etc. So only by the last year, it will be extended by the day, 51 months will be over 63, depending on your status and the time being. But till this period, it will be just always extended by the end of the calendar year. And now when you're going to visit your family, or even you're going to travel abroad in any other country, it doesn't matter. Whenever you cross the border, you'll need to get this enter visa for you to being able to return back to enter the country visitor. Yeah, so
Okay. Thank you so much.
no problem. And you need to pay a small fee for that. There is a fee for procuring this visa, but it's just a regular administrative fee. Okay, thank you. It's a good start. We'll let you think a little bit more. I will just maybe continue with a few reminders that we want, or things that we want to share with you before we'll come towards the final part of the meeting. Is there a question here on the background? No. Julie, want to say something or no? Just microphone open.
Hi, Margarita.
Hello.
Yeah. We just want to clarify something because we're done with our swab test just this morning. I guess this is our 7th day, but we received an update from Ayala agency that swab test should be done on the 9th day. That's supposed to be on Thursday. So I guess we need to repeat that.
When did you receive this update? After you already was done with the swab test? Or before?
Just an hour ago from Ayala agency.
Now, I understand that it is your agency. My question is, when you received this update, before the swab test or after the second swab test?
After the swab test, we received the update.
That
swab test should be done on the 9th day.
I don't know the details, the whole circumstances of your situation, so maybe it's best to clarify with them. And if you still not getting picture clear after you talk to them again, then ask me and we'll see with FIBA if something should be checked there, okay? Just try to check with them what is the reason, because the usual procedure, as we said several times during the program, is 2 swab tests one when you land here, as you did, and the second time towards the end of 7th day, and then you should go, you know, leave the quarantine for good in case you have negative results twice. And you know, and if there's something else happened, then it's better to, you know, to check again with the agency to find out the reason, or if there's some mistake or some misunderstanding or some specific reasons for you to extend your quarantine. And then, yeah. And if still the picture won't be clear, let us know.
Yeah, because it's a new government rule, so I think that applies to all of us. It says.
Let me check. If something changes and you're not leaving quarantine tomorrow, all of you, we'll give you a notice in the group. But it's not what I heard. You know.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. No problem. But again, if other members of the group didn't hear that, I will still recommend you that you will check with the your agency as well. Okay. A few more small things that we would like to share with you before we will come to a final part. How you can stay in touch with us, because we want to stay in touch with you. So we just want to remind you, for those of you who didn't register or wasn't able to register because you didn't have Israeli SIM cards, whenever you will have one, please go online and register there. We will also we'll copy a link for you again for you to being able to do that. And also, if you, as I said, if you need any information or something went wrong, you want to complain, please leave this request, a complaint, either via another forum online or contact call center for the number that you see. And again, we will be more than happy to try to assist you the best way possible. And we also stay in touch in the Viber group, which you are already all part. So that is the reminder for now. And then, yeah, we're coming back again to your either questions, comments, and then the last thing would be the song. So in order for you not to feel awkward or being under pressure to say something again and again, before we move forward, I just want to use this opportunity to thank again all of you for very active participation, and to say that we are sorry if we are pushing you too strong to interact with us, but we really want to know and to feel and to hear, you know, if things that we provided here are understood, if it somehow you know, help you in something, and if it's if it raised questions for you, if it give you some helpful information, and if it leaves more questions that you had before, or the opposite, it answered some question that you had before this program. So again, thank you for very good, honest, and active participation. And thank you very much to my colleagues who are present here, and for many of those who are not present, but as I said, worked hard to make this happen. And yeah, anyone else, feel free to add. Please.
We want to wish you well, and I hope you have a wonderful stay in Israel and you enjoy your life and your work here.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Don't turn off the meeting though yet, because we have a song at the end. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye. Told me you too.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Yaakov, Anand, other participants.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
for being here with us,
Bye.
participating. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Wait. Now the final part. In addition to all the thank you, I'm copying the words in the chat. Look at these.
הבאנו שלום עליכם. הבאנו שלום עליכם. הבאנו שלום עליכם. הבאנו שלום עליכם. We bring peace unto you.
What a mess.
שלום.
למפגש הבא, מרגרטה, תוציא את זה מהיוטיוב. Thank you, everybody. Good luck. Bye.
Bye. Good luck.
Bye.